All right, everybody, stand by. I'm currently putting everything together and updating as we speak. So we will go live here in just a second. Still got a few more things to set up. Thanks so much for your patience, and we will be live here in just a moment. Let me finish up a few more things. Okay, we'll go live anyway here. I still ain't got everything set up, but it is good enough at this point, so we can set everything up here in just a moment. As I'm live, won't be no problem. Let's get right to it right now. Let's look outside. It has been an absolute hot day today. It's such a busy day. Been out here all day long, and I'm exhausted. Winds are out of the south-southwest at 6 miles per hour. It has been a breezy day outside. I actually got sunburned just a bit. It's currently 82 degrees out, very warm, lots of energy in place too for the storms tonight. Do expect them to weaken just a little bit as they move in, but not a lot. There is a lot of energy in place tonight. So no rainfall. We had a total of, I think, 1.45 altogether. Now let's move on and look at the Doppler radar across the area, see what we got going on. Now there is a mess out to the northwest with this stuff. Tornado warning after tornado warning and severe thunderstorm warning after severe thunderstorm warning. So some crazy stuff out there. Today, but right now, looking at the radar in our area, we loaded up, not seeing anything. So nothing on radar right now. There could be some pop-ups around 8 o'clock, but according to the models I was just looking at, I don't even believe that's going to be the case. I don't think we'll get any pop-ups beforehand, but you just never know. Now let's go right into the severe weather threat, because that's what I want to do, get right into that, skip everything else. I know we usually, go through a few more things before we jump right to it, but I want to get right in it. So here's the high-resolution rapid refresh. There's that line of showers of thunderstorms moving in. Some of those will be severe tonight with damaging winds, medium confidence, hail, medium confidence, and tornadoes. I believe it was low to medium confidence, depending on where you're at. We'll discuss that here in a second. But let's take a look at the track here. Looks like this stuff gets in our area around 5 to 6 a.m. in the morning. So it's going to be very early in the morning when this comes through. Let's take a quick look at some of the other models here. Let's take a look at the SPC Outlook. So this is the newest SPC Outlook. And unfortunately, they have introduced a level 3 out of 5 for northern Alabama, excluding DeKalb and Jackson. But as I say, look how close that is. Like that's right over Jackson County, just about all of Jackson County. Excludes Marshall and DeKalb counties, so make sure I get that correct. Excluding Marshall and DeKalb counties, but it's still close enough. So we're gonna just act like it's in there. So level 3 out of 5 severe weather risk. That's intense. That's an intense signal there. Looking at the wind, damaging wind threat, a hatched area up to the northwest. There's some really high damaging winds in excess of 60 to probably. I wouldn't doubt if some of those storms don't produce 80 mile per hour winds up there where that purple area and hatched risk is. Elsewhere, where the red is, which we'll might as well just go ahead and include DeKalb and Marshall in it because Jackson's in it, and I don't see it falling apart that quick. We could see 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts as well with some of this overnight into tomorrow morning. The tornado outlook, all that has rose, unfortunately, and there's a hatched risk, so that's concerning to see a hatched risk issued out by the Storm Prediction Center. And it includes just about all of Jackson County, the northern tip of Marshall County, excludes DeKalb County. But like I said, storms don't know boundaries, so we're going to be keeping a very close eye on this. Overall, 5% risk of tornadoes, DeKalb County, Marshall County, that's pretty high up, with a 15% risk. I know that don't seem like a lot, but in terms of this, it is a lot. 15% hatched risk, rather. Hatched risk means that there is extra confidence that there's going to be tornadoes in this area. Like there's more extra confidence in that hatched risk area than there is the rest of the area. So we're going to keep a very close eye on this. This tornado threat is something to keep an eye on for sure. Hail threat, about 5%. 15 to 5%, depending on where you're at. A 15% risk goes through Marshall County and Jackson, and then it goes down to about a 5% risk in DeKalb. So either way, pay attention to it. Tonight's the night you're going to need to pay close attention and make sure that you're weather aware. Now, let me get these off really quick, and it's going to mess my stream up, I know. So just bear with me, and we're going to go back and look at some of the model outlooks that I was trying to update, but didn't get to update them because I was like, well, we'll just do this. It'll be a lot quicker. Plus, I got people wanting to know how I do this model outlooks anyway. So let's take a look at them. Hopefully Wesley will come on here because he was really curious how to do it. So let's move to the high resolution rapid refresh. Let it update once I get to where we need to be here. So go ahead and update that. Get down to the reflectivity model and see if we can load it up. And of course, it's not going to load all the way up. So I always have to go to the NAM. It tends to load everything up and then go back to the high resolution rapid refresh. And there you go. You got all your model outlooks back. So let's move it on through time here. Not seeing a lot, some scattered pop-ups. Looks like they start to develop later tonight. That's around, I'm going to say 1 a.m. We get some pop-ups across the area. We'll have to keep a close eye on those individual cells there because those individual cells ahead of the line is going to have some extra energy to them. They're going to have all that energy to themselves. So if we get extra pop-ups ahead of the line, those storms will be the ones that will be most capable of producing large hail, tornadoes, damaging winds, all that stuff. But still, the main line itself is going to be pretty tough too. So it looks like it gets into DeKalb County around, looking at the models, around 5 a.m., 5 a.m., still hanging around as we get on into 6 a.m. and then 7 a.m. Looks like the main batch comes through, and it's going to have a punch to it when it does come through. So it's going to be very stout. Let's take a look at some of the other models here. I'd like to get an idea of what we're looking at as far as a significant tornado perimeter goes. And again, for those not familiar with what this model does, it gives you not 100% pinpoint accuracy on where there's going to be rotating updrafts and stuff, rotating storms. It gives you an idea of how intense you can expect it. None of these models are 100%. I'm going to say some of them, some of them's a lot less, but the high resolution rapid refresh model is one that I love to use because it's pretty accurate when it comes to predicting the timing of these things. Now, I don't know of any model that's perfect, of course. So let's move it on through. Big time tornadoes up there. Lots of energy, lots of really, strong indications there. Further northwest Tennessee that they're going to have some, tornadoes. Some of those could be long track with that kind of tornado perimeter showing up there. Weakens out just a bit as it dives into our area, and then we do see some of that energy coming here too. So it looks like some of those storms still have the potential to produce a few brief spin-up tornadoes over north and northeast Alabama as it moves on through. It officially moves on through. Good bit of energy there at 1200, which is actually 7 a.m. So we will have to keep a close eye on this. I mean, that's all you can really say. And the main line moves on out of here. Looks like it completely clears the area by around 3 p.m. tomorrow. So, I mean, I figured that's a little bit off. But it looks like around 3 p.m. is what it showed. That's with the energy, so you can't really go by that. Let me go to the actual radar here, and it'll give me a better idea of that. Let's take a look at this really quick. This gives you an idea of supercells. So, where they expect the most supercell activity to be. And of course, that's over there to the northwest of us, where there is actually a moderate risk in place up there. So, yes, some really nasty stuff showing up there in northwest Tennessee and even Tennessee just overall. So it looks like we will have the potential for some, supercells to develop. But right now, it looks like the best threat, best chance of supercells is over northwest Alabama. That's by the supercell composite. Still looking at a few of those storms there, supercell-wise. And then a few of them here, they're predicting in DeKalb County to be possibly supercells as well as it gets on out of here. So basically all this is, energy, giving you a little bit of a guide to where you can see supercells and all that. So these little models here are very handy. They're not 100%, so there's no guarantees, but they're, pretty doggone accurate with timing and stuff. So we'll have to see how that goes. Now, let's get the timing up, because that is something I did forget to do. Let's get the timing up really quick. Let's go to that. And I know Huntsville National Weather Service has got to have that up. And keep in mind, there is a possibility that we may go under a severe thunderstorm or tornado watch or severe thunderstorm watch later on. It would not surprise me, depending on how the storms behave as they're moving in. So timing here, 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. for northwest Alabama, the best area for tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail. Don't let that throw you off, though, because the whole area up here has got the threat, and a decent threat of it as well. So looks like around 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. Florence, Russellville areas moving further east, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Huntsville, Fayetteville, Tennessee area, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. northeast Alabama, around DeKalb, Jackson, and Marshall counties. So that being said, medium confidence, damaging winds, medium confidence in hail, medium confidence in tornadoes, so they raised it up. Medium confidence in heavy rainfall, so this something to take seriously. Level 3. We've seen level 3s before. They're in between. So level 3 is right in the middle of as high as it can go. So this is something you want to take seriously. We're not down to the little slight risk or marginal risk side anymore. We're right in between. So this is something to keep an eye on for sure. Level 3. Enhanced risk. So that being said, a line of storms is forecast to move through our area tonight. With strong to severe storms, main impacts and threats include heavy rainfall, damaging winds, hail, and a few tornadoes as well. This will be an overnight threat, so have multiple ways to receive warnings so that you will wake up if a warning is issued. This is going to be more than likely when you're asleep. Overnight from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. southern middle Tennessee, all of North Alabama and southern middle Tennessee. So that's all of North Alabama. So something we really need to keep an eye on. Now, let's look at the forecast outlook as we get into Monday. Severe thunderstorms will exit the Tennessee Valley around 7 a.m., so it looks like 7 a.m. they get out of here, leaving a few lingering showers and storms until lunchtime. Afterwards, cloud cover will decrease, leaving mostly sunny skies in place. As a pretty sharp little cool front moves on through the area, we'll officially get that cooler air arriving around Wednesday and Thursday, as we've been talking about for a little while here. So let's take a look at the chat before we get ready to wrap it up, see if there's any questions. I wish Wesley was on here, but I don't. Oh, yep, he is on here. All right, good. There we go. All right, let's look at questions real quick before we do get ready to wrap things up and make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. So let's see here. Okay, that was answered that, Darlene, about Northeast Alabama, the timing and everything. All right, Wesley, now this is for everybody that may be a little more interested in how you do this. Since everybody's watching, let's go ahead and get to it on how you do it. So, Wesley, everybody pretty sure you know he's a firefighter over in Henniger. Excellent job they do. It's like excellent job they do over there. Really appreciate them very much. And he's actually wanting to get into weather, and of course, we've shared quite a few of his videos he's got out there. So, because usually it goes his way and it completely just goes around me. So he's usually out there when all heck's breaking loose and I'm behind the computer most of the time. So let's give an idea on how to do this. So when you first open this page up, this is what you're going to see. You'll want to go to models, click that. You'll see GFS will be the first model that it pulls up, but just skip that. Go to continental US, click regional. You'll click United States, it'll open up. You'll click Southeast U.S., and it'll open up, and you'll see Alabama on here. Now, this is where you'll want to change the model depending on what you're wanting to look at. If you're wanting to look at an accurate timing of storms and all that good stuff, you're going to want to go with the high-resolution rapid refresh model, and it's probably not going to load up. Then you're going to want to go to forecast loop out of that. Sometimes it'll load up completely like it is now, and sometimes it won't. If it doesn't load up correctly, just go to NAM, hit the NAM, it'll load everything up like right away. Got to give it maybe just a few seconds. It loads it, then go to HRR, high resolution rapid refresh, and it pulls it back up. Then just use this arrow here to move through time. Now, it's important to learn how to use the timing here, and this is where it's going to be confusing. It does take a lot of training to do it, but one thing I did forget to do is click on 1 kg AGL, 1 km AGL reflectivity. It's a little bit confusing. It gives a little bit more in-depth look of stuff than the other one does. So you just keep going here through time till you see the storms, getting pretty close to the area. And then at that point, let's say, well, looks like they're entering northeast Alabama now. and moving on through. So this is where you're going to need to get you a sheet like I have. I've actually got it up on the wall over here, and I'll look at it because this is confusing as can be to me. So 10Z would actually be 5 a.m. So, and another really confusing thing about this is, let me show you this. Just hang on a minute. Let's go on through Monday, if it'll go that far. Now, watch when it gets to 00Z. Keep in mind, 00Z is considered 7 o'clock. Watch what happens when we get to 00. We're on Monday. Look at that. 00, it goes on to Tuesday. And you're going to be thinking, well, that's got to be midnight. 00Z's got to be midnight. No, it's not. By these weather models here, 00Z is considered 7 p.m. It's still Monday, but for some reason these models say it's Tuesday. So it can be confusing. So, get you that sheet, put it up on the wall, learn how to use it. It's actually Zulu time, UTC. So look up Zulu time and get you a sheet and just start, just have it nearby when you're looking at these, because I still don't fully know them. I'm learning them. So maybe that'll help you out. But yeah, the time, Zulu time, is confusing. I mean, it's really confusing, the time that they use on this, and that is Zulu time that they use. So very confusing. It can be really confusing. So let's say, we'll move on from there. Let's say you want to look a little bit further out, get a better idea of what's going on ahead. Your best friend is going to be the GFS when it comes to looking further out. Like getting an idea of, further out, future time. That's going to be your best bet. And of course, it didn't load all the way up either. So we'll move over, see if I can get it to load up fully. Okay, looks like it loaded pretty good. Let's go over here and take a look at the forecast GIF. That's a little bit more options to work with here. Okay, so we get those storms moving through, and then this is keep in mind only go about, I'm gonna say 7 days out. I wouldn't go anything past 7 days out because it's really more than likely going to be wrong. So if you go way on down through here and you go this far out, like, you're really pushing it because it's probably not going to be accurate at all. But let's see this little system here. Let's take a look and see when it's going to come in, because it looks like there is one going to come in again. So let's see when that next system there is going to move in. Okay, so it looks like Wednesday, Thursday, which is going to be 29th, 30th. We could have some more rain, possibly some storms. It says Wednesday, Thursday, and then it gets out of here. So, of course, that's giving you an idea a few days ahead. What may come, it looks like it stays kind of south of our area, but this is really good for looking, I'm going to say within probably about 7 days a week, or I wouldn't even, probably go that far with it, but it's pretty good about giving future forecast information out and all that good stuff. So if you want to look ahead, that's going to be your best friend there, is the GFS. So the rest of the models, I only really have learned the ones that I need. The NAM model is another good model, but it's not as in-depth as the high-resolution rapid refresh is, but it's still a good model, to use. It's still really good, and it's good to compare these models, for timing. A lot of people use the NAM, which is just fine. I like the high-resolution rapid refresh because it's usually more accurate than the NAM is. But either way, I mean, they both do the same thing. It's just some of them's got a little bit different opinions. So the NAM may be right sometime, and then the HRR, high-resolution rapid refresh may be wrong. But then again, it may be the other way around. So you just kind of have to pick and choose which one you agree with. And that can be very complicated. So you just have to go by that. I use the high-resolution rapid refresh because it's so much more in-depth, and you got more tools with it. Which, don't get me wrong, you have tools with the NAM too, but I'm just used to using the high-resolution rapid refresh. That's the one I recommend the most. So if you're going to look for, timing on that day, and you got storms moving in, that's, what you want to use that for. So hopefully that does help out just a little bit. I hope it does. I really doubt them. I don't go out at night and chase. I don't. But in the morning, I probably will. I mean, it just depends. But I really don't like chasing at night. I've already had a really bad experience with that, and I would just prefer to chase during the daytime if I'm going to. So, and yeah, I don't care how good you are at storm chasing or whatever. You'll hear people talk all the time that hey, you know, I know what I'm doing. Well, you know what? Some professionals out in Oklahoma, scientists that have been doing weather for decades, that was way better than any of us. They got killed. So hey, ain't no problem for it to happen to me, you know, because I'm not as good as they are. Okay, looking through the comments here. Let me go through that really fast. No problem, everybody. I'm glad I could watch them. But it has just been a day today. Let's take a look at here. Yeah, probably a good idea to sleep in your clothes and shoes tonight. That's probably a really good idea. But yeah, Wesley, I'll be watching the weather for sure. If you get anything, send it, because it's more than likely going to be worse there than here, but who knows. Thanks, Janice. I appreciate that. Melissa, is there an app you can use that will help detect which storms have rotation? Yeah, Wesley, that'd be fine. No problem. I'd love to meet up with you. You know what? I've never researched that. Let me look that up. You know, it's something I ain't never thought about. Let me look that up. Okay, wait a minute. Let me think about this again. As far as an app goes, I do not know of an app that's going to just be like, well, hey, you know, this storm's got rotation in it, unless somebody else knows about one. I'm not familiar, but I'm trying to figure out if there is an app that will give you a heads up. Well, it says Storm Shield is a really good app. It does not say that it alerts you when there's a storm or rotation. Like if it's got, of course, if it's tornado warned, it's going to alert you. And severe thunderstorm warnings and all that stuff. But it says Storm Shield is a good app. That's what I'm looking up here. It gives good tornado warnings, all that stuff. I know my Live Alert 19 app is what's weird about it is it notifies me when there's lightning nearby, but it's weird. It doesn't exactly tell you if there's severe thunderstorm warnings and stuff in the area. And I'm like, I've got to have something set wrong on here. Like, this is just crazy. Well, let me look at the high resolution rapid refresh model, and it looked like it kind of, you know, from what I looked at. Let me go back to it really quick. We'll do that. I'm here for questions too. I mean, I've got all the time now. I'm done with everything today. Been at it since 11 a.m. this morning, and I'm done for today. So I've got all the time in the world right now to, you know, answer questions. I'm happy to do it for everybody. So let's take a look. Okay, so that moved on through. I mean, according to the high resolution rapid refresh model, and I don't know. I'm going to update one more time, because I think we did get an update out on that model while I was actually live. I believe I got notified of that, so let me go back and look at it again and see what the newest is saying about it. So let me get back to that. Tell you what, there's so many options on here. It takes forever sometimes when you forget where it's at. You have to look through everything to find it. Okay, well, for some odd reason now it's not wanting to do anything. So let's see if I can fix that. You know, they may be updating the models. It usually acts up when they are. Let's go back to NAM here, see if it'll load up a little better. Reload. There we go. Now it's loading back up. Guess it had something going on there. Okay, so let's get it back up on the screen really quick. There we go, we're back to it again. Alright, so let's run through time here and take a look. So there's that big line, moves through. Well, I'll be honest, according to the high resolution rapid refresh, that looks pretty accurate. Like the heaviest of the activity stays up here to the north, in northeast Alabama. So yes, it does appear that it does weaken a lot as it moves south. This is going to be, see if it's a new update or not, 6 a.m. It looks like this may be one of the new updates, or it may have just updated on my end. I'm going to look through it on another. Okay, and I also love composite reflectivity because it really shows the in-depth as well. But yes, I'm looking at several different runs here, and it looks like it almost splits when it goes across Birmingham, gets down that way. So the heaviest stuff honestly looks to be in the north and northeast portion. I mean, honestly, it looks like northeast Alabama has, in my opinion, the best threat of anything according to this model, but it can always be wrong. But it's showing the heaviest of the activity moving through northeast Alabama. And I know the NATOcast model had a higher probability of tornadoes for northeast Alabama than they did northwest Alabama. And I believe I see why now, because it looks like that line kind of dissipates on the western part, and the heaviest of it moves through northeast Alabama, northwest parts of Georgia there, and then moves on out of here and south. So, this can always be right, and it can always be wrong, so it's kind of iffy at the moment. But it does look like it weakens over Birmingham, so I think whoever said that was probably pretty accurate about it. But thanks everybody for watching the stream. Hope that did answer some questions for everybody, maybe learn you a little bit. I'm definitely going to meet with Wesley again and sit down and teach him what I know about weather, because he's going to need it out there doing what he does. So, happy to help out, a first responder, a friend as well. So, teach him what I know, and then we'll go from there. He'll be sending updates to me next time. So, yeah, that being said, thanks so much, everybody. Stay weather aware, and keep in mind there is a possibility that there will be a tornado watch issued tonight. I think probably northern portion will be issued out first, which could go ahead and include all of northern Alabama. It really depends on how the cells look as they start moving closer to us. So we'll watch it. And that being said, thanks everybody, the support, the shirts. I've got so many people that's got shirts now, I've maxed it out. Like, I can't even order that many. So we'll have to wait till the next one. But thanks so much everybody that's got shirts, bought them, and that has liked and subscribed. I see that I have a new subscriber on YouTube, so I appreciate that. I'm moving on down the list here to see if I got any more subscribers, and it looks like so far that's the only one. So like and subscribe, help me get 1,000 people on there. I would really appreciate it. I'd love it. Take care, God bless, and we will definitely, update throughout the night. Take this seriously. Let me say that much. Take it seriously. Take care. See you on the next one. Thanks.